All right, guys. Well, here we are. It's a Saturday. Both Mason and myself are here in the shop. We're working on a project we started about a year ago now. Back when we were learning a lot about hemming and folding material over on top of itself, we started creating this project. And basically today what we're going to do is we're going to show you how we're going to take this and turn it into this. A lot of you guys know we can't do things basic. We've got to push it to another level. And that's one of the reasons why we created this flag the way that we did, because at the end of the day, when this all comes together, this has got to line up perfectly. It's got to fold completely over and everything's got to align, which is really, really difficult. You've got about 8 bends prior to getting to this point. So if it's not correct, you're gonna get inaccurate results. It's not gonna be good. So we just thought this was a fun project when we were learning, like I said, about hemming, just kind of going through the process and the steps of understanding how the hems are compounding, how they're folding into each other, and really how many we can get within a part itself. So it's a really cool project. So we're gonna kind of take you through each stage of the project and the process of actually folding this flag, because it's pretty incredible to take something like this and then turn it into something that's so seamless and perfect on the end. That's what we're gonna do today. It's quiet in the shop. It's our favorite time to be here. There's no distractions. We just focus on getting this done and showing you guys a really cool piece at the end. So come with us and follow along. Now to the tumbler. All these in our little compartment over here. Give them a little pre-tumble. Take some of our media, fill it up. I'll let those tumble for a bit while we bend up these flags. There we go, we're off to the races. Now for the flags. Hemming tooling. Get this bolted in and then we can start. So on this press brake we have what's called I-axis shift. So it allows us to actually do the pre-bend in standard tooling, and then the actual beam itself will shift for us to complete the hem. We'll get these bolts in, get them tightened up, and we'll be ready to go. You know, one of the things that I notice when I see other people making complex parts is that they typically run the beam speed too fast. There's a lot of back bending and a lot of things that are flexing and moving, and sometimes you gotta slow the machine down to get the results that you want, or just have a little bit more control over the part in general. And this is pretty cool. Just even at this point on this project, we've got 2 closed hems on each side. Now we're about to give it its dimension or its shape, that triangle shape that we've created with this. And then we get to the final stage. The scariest part is when we actually fold it up together, see if it actually lines up. Okay, so now we've got some shape. And now this whole thing's gonna come together. You guys are probably wondering why we have this big tab on the end here. It's a bend tab or an alignment tab. It's really hard to prop off of some of these other bends or to trust that they're gonna be 100% square. And that's what this relies on. This last bend relies on this part being 100% square. So we've added this bend tab, this little breakaway tab, to make sure we have a good prop, something we feel comfortable with, confident with, before we actually bend it. Get it right up against the back edge there. Feel pretty good about it. Send her home. Now the last part. If we've done everything correctly up to this point, done our due diligence, this should line up just fine. And so this is where we're going to actually create an open hem. So we're not going to crush this one down like we have the rest. This will technically be open. One of the other things that made this real difficult is the fact that we're at an angle. We can't push straight into the actual tooling itself. So we're having to kind of hold it in a position that's not very comfortable in order to flatten this out. We'll bring this down, close it up, and there we go. So you'll see that this end here is open. So that's considered to be an open hem, although it's closed. What we're really looking for is this to start to line up and come together. And now you can see that we've actually folded this back over on itself almost perfectly. And you have all these hems, all these pieces. It's one part that comes together and lines back up. So it's a pretty cool part. Like I said, for us, it's always trying to push the limits and come up with something that isn't easy. You know, everybody creates some flag, right? We believe in American manufacturing, so it stands for something for us. But at the end of the day, we wanted to create something that's really, really tough to create. And you don't know if you are actually going to get the proper result until the end. So you've done all your homework, you've done all these bends, all these things, and then you get to the end and you could either get a result that you like or a result that's not even close. And I think for a lot of the parts that I see today, as small as this is, as silly as this is probably one of my favorite pieces because of how complex it really is to get this correct. And I think when you see it firsthand and you understand what went into actually bending this part, you'd understand that it's very, very complex and very difficult. So, you know, it's little projects like this that, you know, we find a lot of pride in. You know, they're not easy to create, they're not easy to design. You know, Mason's worked his ass off trying to get this correct in the 3D model in order for it to work out here. And sometimes just, you know, the way that your brain is working and the way you think it's actually going to work out at the machine doesn't necessarily relate to the way it is in the 3D model. And so it's one of the reasons why we kind of put it on the back burner for a little bit, is just the amount of energy it takes sometimes to create projects like this and see them all the way through, right? It's not just a flag. There's a lot of complexity to it. And, you know, there's a lot of reason for why we're pushing it to this limit. And a lot of it is just to learn, to help ourselves get better. It just takes a little bit of time to be in the right headspace to want to finish these projects, but they're a lot of fun and very rewarding when you finish them. Get all of our parts out of here. Oh yeah, these are nice and smooth now. Beautiful. We get all our parts out. This is what will assemble the base for the flag, as well as a little badge, a little bit of branding, never a bad thing. And we're gonna take these over. We're gonna shoot small little laser weld on the flags itself to the base so they don't come off. And that's gonna be all she wrote on this project. Guys, we are at the end result here. We've got done with our laser welding. So we've done laser cutting, arcu, tumbling, bending, PEMing, laser welding. We've pretty much done it all. But yeah, the end result is really cool. We made this little top cap here so you can still see all the hems that are going on and all the work that we put into this. Very unique style to this flag. We wanted to do something different, like we said before. You can mount them on your UTVs, ATVs, whatever. We made it small, compact, really cool piece of fabrication, and of course, American manufacturing, which we always support. Thank you guys for watching. We appreciate it.